Do you know when despair comes? Despair comes when we give up on God. You see, despair is believing that lies are true. And people kind of consign themselves and just resign themselves to say, this must be my lot. And if you're here this morning, maybe you've not been believing specific for a child, maybe you are, but there is a sense of barrenness. When things that we've wanted to take place haven't come to pass. Even though we've done everything right, even though we've tried to follow God, there doesn't seem to be an answer as to why. And maybe we've been dealing with the temptation to despair, to give up, or just to let in and to let go of my dreams. Not birth the realities of what I want to see take place in my life. You see, during the holidays, one of the reasons why it can be so difficult for many people is that the holiday season can seem to magnify our troubles. When people go through these times, many of the things that they've wanted in life hasn't gone the way they've expected. Life hasn't turned out the way they've wanted it to go, and they kind of dread the holidays. Maybe you're single and you've wanted to be married, and you dread the fact of having to go back and face all of your relatives and sit around a table again, and people ask you questions like, are there any prospects? Anything looking good? Or maybe just looking at you with an eye like, is there something wrong with you? Or maybe you've had relational failures that have gone on in your life, and the holidays tend to magnify that you're not with the people that you wanted to be with. Something's broken down, something's happened, and now the holiday only reminds you more of what you once had. Maybe you've gone through a divorce, and the holiday tends to remind you because now you realize your kids are going to be somewhere else spending half of this holiday. And sometimes what can happen is we can feel like a failure in those points. Maybe you've had a financial crisis that you've gone through. The holiday magnifies it. You can't do everything for your family you wanted to do. You can't express to people that you love in your life the way you want to do. And so the holidays can become a time of dread that people tend to want to ignore or avoid because it tends to bring a sense of hopelessness. Maybe you've failed morally in your life. And there's an area where people where you once loved and wanted to be around don't really want to have anything to do with you. And that sense of hopelessness can settle in. Well, you see, Zachariah and Elizabeth, if you can imagine this end, they had wanted this all their lives. All their married lives, they had wanted to bear a child, but yet they were childless. And therefore, why? We kept everything. We did everything we were supposed to do. And what has it gotten me? And so many people can attempt to give up hope because they figure, man, I've been doing this. I've been following God. Is it worth it? Is there hope? And that's what I want you to recognize. There is hope.